Welcome to Sipping on Excellence. This is Coach KJ, and I'm here with my man, my dude, the Doc.
And this is where we will be discussing the exceptional that is absolutely attainable. My friends, here's to living that extraordinary life.
Cheers.
Man, oh man, you would think we just started today.
Right.
Every single time.
Acting like this is the first time we ever did this podcast, right?
Right. Got my glasses fogging up.
Man, we tried to connect stuff and testing it.
Yeah. Thank God we know how to at least test it out first.
At least we can troubleshoot in like 2 seconds.
Like connected. Oh, okay.
Man, dude, welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence.
This
man.
is real.
Another week, y'all. We're back.
This is real. This is very real.
We are back and happy to be back. Dude, I'm back from vacation.
I know.
I feel like a new man.
This guy actually took a vacation.
I know, crazy, right?
We did a FaceTime and he said, he just had full of conversation. I was like, you don't have conversation. You conversate.
Right? Man.
This guy was conversating. I said, "Oh, dude, slow down, bro.
It was a necessary thing. You know how you don't know you need vacation,
right,
until you take one.
And I've been trying to tell you, you need to take a vacation.
Man, I never thought I did because I'm like, vacation from what? I love my job. So what I need to break from? It was just
you need to break from your job so you can keep
loving
your job.
A break from. I just needed to get away.
Yeah.
From whatever, LA life, all of it. Just get away from. Yeah. Interact with different people for a change.
Yeah.
Need to get away
for
from
real.
his ass. Whew. Because he was trying to test my nerves. Anyway, man, it's good to be back. And I'm ready to get after it. We got we got some good stuff to talk about today. What we're talking about today is something that it always gets on my nerves and never knew why people did it. So now
it gets on my nerves, but at the same time, it has so many dynamics where we can start adding it into aspects of our lives to actually be of importance to us. It might irritate you with what happens and people do, but we're gonna take a different spin on it as well.
All right, I'm gonna let you take a different spin because I'm coming in hot.
Yeah, let's come in hot with its originality and where it comes from,
right,
and how we can go in on it, and then we can take the spin on it.
Or better yet, also try to understand why people do it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So welcome to another episode of Sipping on Excellence. We got a lot planned for y'all this week. If y'all haven't been checking us out, check these videos out
on YouTube.
We got our channel is up. Everybody's been asking for it. They wanted to see if we're who we say we are.
Because you'd be surprised at how many people just watch things on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know. Like, I had no idea. I'm a YouTuber. I like watching videos on YouTube. But
man, I couldn't tell you how many people came to me and said, "Man, y'all should actually put videos out." Well, you ask and ye shall receive.
Right, exactly.
So that's what we did.
Well, you can always see why we are laughing so hard. So you can see why we go in on each other.
Right. Right, but that's just naturally who we are.
Right.
Man, tell me you know how my week was. We talked during the week.
Yes.
I was on the other side of the planet, not missing LA a bit. And I'm back, and I want to check up on you, man. What's been going on?
It's been a good week. I've been very productive. The idea of, like we always talk about me coaching and coaching, right, and coaching, and the idea of actually just being present to that moment of coaching every single time. Like, there was a guy in the gym, we were having a conversation. Next thing you know, he said, "Can I call you?" I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's how it starts. People, you start a conversation with somebody, and they realize, maybe I just need a listening ear, or maybe I just need somebody to talk to for a second.
Right, exactly.
And that's how the coaching game goes, and that's how you got me to start training with you.
Yeah.
Hey man, can I show you something real quick? I'm like, can you show me a little more?
Yeah, exactly. Or what I loved about the beginning of this week, I got that back itch. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
That's when you know your arm's too big because you can't quite reach back there.
Oh, I'm mobile, my friend. Mobile. When the beginning of the week, when you said, so what are we going to post this week? And I sent you a laundry list. He said, okay.
Right.
Thumbs up.
You got this. I'm on vacation.
And I kept you on vacation mode.
For sure. Then I talked to this dude once and didn't hear from the rest of the week. I'm like,
right. and we didn't cut up any of the video.
Not at all. It's just
So
out there.
we just kept moving. He's like, oh,
Video's out.
okay,
Let's go.
This is the way we're doing it.
Right.
It's like,
But
yeah.
we're staying true. We're staying true to ourselves, man.
Right.
Like we always said, straight no chaser. We don't cut it. We don't edit
No.
it. It just comes at y'all the way you see it.
Yeah.
There's no fanciness to it. None of that.
Yeah.
Once the intro's done, it's live.
Exactly.
We'd be doing the same thing if there was somebody here taping us live for a TV show.
This is true. This is true.
We're not editing it. Listen, there's nothing ending up on the cutting room floor over here. I don't want that shit on my floor.
As you see, I still got these beads of sweat because I came in hot today.
Oh, dude came in on fire today. And I'm just like, man, what's wrong with you? I'm happy.
I am too. With a little ferocity behind it.
Man, so let's get into, before we get into the drink of the day, the sip of the day, and all of that in the topic, let's let's talk about what's wrong with y'all. Why did you come in hot? And then I'll tell you about why I came in hot yesterday.
Okay, so I came in hot today because
Since we are talking about a topic that makes us both hot at times,
Yeah.
let's just talk about today why we came in hot.
Yeah. So, okay, there are people out there that they're asking for money, and they have their signs, and they also use their kids as pawns, which I really have a problem with.
See it all the time.
Yeah. But when you actually, because they ran a whole story on this in the news, maybe a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But how these people are, this is their job. They're asking for money for help.
Oh, for sure.
But they're not in need. They're not in need. They're in want. So what
Big
they're-
difference.
Yeah. They're not in desperate need. They're in more of a thirsty want. So they're out. They're asking for money. They're using their kids as pawns. And what ended up happening was I happened to see them, this group, leave, but they were going to their car behind the Trader Joe's.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand out front. I'm gonna ask you for some loot. Hold my son out there. We'll work for food or whatever it may
Right.
be. And then the end of my job, well, I guess that is their work. They
Yeah.
fold up that sign and go,
Yeah.
go get an $80,000 ride. I'm like, shit, you got a nicer car than me.
Exactly.
How'd that work?
Exactly. I was just like, wow.
You too could swallow your pride and stand on the side of the freeway.
This is true. There was someone that actually put themselves through college asking for money. They didn't say that. They just like, hey, listen, here, this is open. I'm offering. I'm taking offerings. That's it. Nothing else. You don't have to follow up with, my family's this or this is that.
You can stand there with just a sign, need money.
That's it.
And I guarantee you'll eat every day.
You'll go beyond eating.
I'm just saying, but if that's all
On
you
a
were
bare
looking
minimum,
for,
yeah. Think about it. Low end of the day, you probably, if you stay somewhere at least 6 hours, 6 hours.
the right place.
Right. Somewhere where people are ready to spend money.
Yep.
Malls,
Oh yeah.
Target.
Near fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
But if you do that, somebody might just come give you food. They're not going to give you money necessarily.
Right.
Outside of a Target, outside of a grocery store,
No.
places like that, they might bring you some loot and be like, all right, feel you.
Yeah.
Or at like a gas station.
Because you have to think places where people actually go in with cash.
But what's happening now is there's a lot there's a lot fewer people that are taking cash. Here's something crazy. So, talking about taking cash, when I was in Copenhagen and Stockholm, I saw not one homeless person.
Oh, no.
Not one.
No.
And here's the crazy part. In Stockholm, 85% of people use credit cards or debit cards.
Mm-hmm.
They say the only people that show up with cash anywhere are older people. Nobody uses cash.
Mm-hmm.
I went to give the taxi guy a little bit of cash, and he's like, I don't have any change. Looked at me like all strange, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's right, because people don't use cash here. Oh, it's crazy. And there's nobody, maybe because it gets so damn cold, but there was nobody walking around asking for money. Not a single person.
That's because they're all here.
But
They're on Venice Beach.
you would think not everybody could get across the water. So
Yeah, I know.
how do they take care of the unfortunate, the unhoused, as people like to call them now, the political correct term?
It's interesting. I don't know.
in that part of the world? And why did I not see one panhandler, not one person asking for money, not one person sleeping on the street, and it was not ice cold out? Yeah. What are they doing right? What are we doing wrong? You know?
Good question.
I wonder. So let me tell you, speaking about traveling, let me tell you why I came in hot. This is my what's wrong with y'all. So before I left on vacation, I told my landlord where I live, was like, look, you need to make some repairs to your ceiling.
No, they
need to make some repairs. So they're like, we're going to come in, it's going to take about 3 or 4 days. I was like, cool, I'm out of town these particular 8-9 days. Handle it while I'm gone. Those of you out there who ever travel for any extended period of time know when you get home, all you want to do is get home, kick your feet up, unpack, and just relax. I walk into my door yesterday and there's plastic drapes everywhere, and dude is up in here still working on my ceiling, painting and doing all kinds of shit. And I just looked like, you had 10 days to get this done when you told me it was going to take 3. You could have had this done long before I got home. And you know, so I'm sitting here like, it's hot in here, there's dust everywhere. Dude, I was hot.
Is that why my eyes are burning?
Yeah, okay, probably. But I was like, then the last thing I want to do is fall asleep up in here with the fumes of the paint.
Right.
Man, I was hot. And so my what's wrong with y'all is, don't do that shit. If you say you're going to handle something, handle it, get it done.
Right, and that comes with anything.
And it's part of the whole just do your damn job topic that we released, you know? And that goes into just do your damn job. It goes into my pet peeves. You know? All our past topics getting rolled into one moment. Right. You know? But dude, I was just like, so finally get home late in the afternoon yesterday after dude's gone and get some rest. Now I'm coming at y'all. Y'all ready for this? And we're going to talk about some people today, not specifically, but when they hear this, they're going to know I'm talking about their ass.
You have some very direct, son.
Oh, for sure. But before we get started, man, let's talk about this sip of the day. Today, we're going to talk about, since I'm fresh off vacation mode, I figured I'm going to make a cocktail that still reminds me of vacation. It's called an Acapulco.
Yeah, because when we talked about it, I said, well, you're fresh off of vacation. We got to go with a beverage that will resonate with vacation and also our favorite, which is tequila.
For sure. So here you go. It's called an Acapulco. It is tequila, rum, pineapple juice, grapefruit juice. And it is tasty. My man, here's to another great episode. Let's get after it.
Here we go.
Yeah. And to y'all out there.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. So, Kenny and I were talking this week, and we were like, what are we going to talk about this next episode? What are we going to get into? What are we feeling? And it came to us, and we were like, you know what? Let's talk about ghosting. You hear that term thrown around everywhere, and everybody does it sometime without real. Some know they're doing it, others just pay no attention that they're doing it. Nobody likes it when it's done to them.
No.
You know?
No.
And it's some bullshit, really. And I think we'll get into why people do it, but the number one reason is I think people just rather not face confrontation or rather not face themselves. And so they just say, fuck it, I'm just going to disappear.
Yeah.
You know? And dude, it's some annoying shit.
Oh, I know.
It is some annoying shit.
I've been that annoying shit. I have been that person as well.
Tell me, you ghosted somebody?
I surely did.
Tell me about it.
Listen, I'm here for it all. I'm here to, move forward in my life and where I was at that time. I was going through my divorce, and I started talking to someone that lived here, and that we've known each other for a long time. And they were adamant about me moving back at a certain time, and I had to come, and then I'm going to come and live with them. And there was a whole bunch of, you need to, and you need to stop. And I said, listen, I need you to back up. I need you to back up. I need you to let me go through this process. Let me figure this thing out.
But you said that.
I did.
Right. Okay.
I did. I made it very clear. I was like, listen, this is not easy. This is a struggle. This is what I'm going through now. I'm trying to help you understand what I'm going through. And they were so adamant, just pushing and pushing. And I said, listen, I can't do this anymore. I'm telling you.
How many times did you tell them to push back?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like
it was a few times.
Right.
And then one day I was just like, dude, I can't do this anymore. And she was like, what? And I was like, no, I can't do this. You are dictating my terms. Right. My terms. You're dictating my terms. I'm going through this. You have everything at your whim.
Right.
You're just waiting on me to fit in with your process. I just left that.
Yeah, that's not.
That's what I'm getting out of a situation where I'm in her terms and I need to dictate and figure out my terms.
Right.
And she wasn't hearing me, and I was just like, listen, I'm out of here. And then it just stopped. And I was like, I can't. When I said I'm out, I'm out. So is that ghosting?
I wouldn't call that ghosting because and the reason why I asked you, like, did you tell them you're pushing back?
Yeah.
To me, I think.
But I did stop talking to them completely.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm out, done. Ghosting to me is there's no warning.
Yeah.
Somebody reaches out to you one day and
that's
you
fair.
just don't respond.
Yeah.
You know, and you see it a lot in the dating world.
Yeah.
You know, where girl meets guy, guy meets girl, guy meets guy, girl meets girl, whatever it may be.
Yeah. You
start a conversation, you start communicating, and then all of a sudden the communication stops without warning.
Mm.
And there's no rhyme or reason for you on your end to think, why would this person stop talking to me? And you start thinking, well, did I do something? Did I not? You don't know, because it literally, and they don't block you, cut you off, none of that. They just stop responding. Mm-hmm. To me, that's ghosting.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And have I ever done that? No, because I'm quick to tell you, look, I'm just not interested. Or I'll be, you give people signs. You gotta get the signs of, okay, you typically used to respond within a few, within an hour or two, whatever, and now it's a day or two, and you start realizing, this person may not be interested.
Right.
And what do? Do you keep plugging away, hoping that they finally become interested? No, and it's kind of like when we talked about pet peeves. If I text you and I know you always have your phone in your hand, and when people are calling you or texting you when you're in front of me, you're texting back, then it takes you 2 or 3 days to respond to me, I can take a fucking hint. Yeah. But there's been, instances where, I've been ghosted.
You have been?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, please tell me about this.
Dude.
Because I can't really say that I've been since maybe high school.
I got ghosted by somebody who's a great friend of mine now. She's probably going to hear this and laugh because I throw that shit in her face all the time. We met, was like, oh, cool, whatever. Started having conversations, went out, and then boom, stopped responding.
Really?
And I'm that guy. I'm gonna reach out to you once. You don't respond, I may assume or something that you maybe didn't get the message. I'll reach out a second time. If I don't hear back from you, I don't reach out again. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Right.
And then fast forward down the road, paths cross again. Somebody says, hey, come out to dinner with us, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And the excuse was I was going through some stuff at the time.
As opposed to sharing.
Just saying, hey, I'm going through some stuff.
Right.
when I figure things out.
Right.
But I think when you ghost people, it's purely because you don't want to deal with the situation. So you just figure, I don't have to, so I'm just not going to. And it's not about, I don't owe that person anything, so why do I need to tell them that I'm going through something? Or why do I need to tell that person I'm busy with work, I don't have time to talk, or whatever it may be? That's an excuse to just say, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want you to ask me why, or I don't want to have to deal with how you're going to respond to me telling you not now. So I'd rather just not tell you anything and just not respond. To me, children do better than that.
Yeah.
And so I would say that's childish. That's not even childish. That's just
that's not
honestly, it's just some disrespectful shit.
exactly.
You know, and when that's happened, I would just say, then you just literally had no respect for me at the time. And so I don't let that shit go. I get past it, and like I said, we're great friends now. But it definitely makes people cautious, and when dealing with you, and there now, that wall is always gonna be up.
Yeah.
For whatever you were going through, whatever your reasons are.
Yeah. You become cautious, but you also not only cautious, but you address that person for where they are. You're like, okay, well, you're right here, but you do understand this is what you created, so I'm going to keep you right here, and this is all you get from being right here. You don't get any more.
And then there's people that will sort of ghost you in phases. You know what I mean? So before ghosting was even a thing, this was, God, 25 years ago or more for me. This woman, I started realizing she was responsive and cool with me when she needed me to make her feel a certain way. And then she'd disappear for weeks at a time and then just pop up like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm just like, huh. So that's like, to me, that's ghosting, but segmental ghosting.
Right.
It's not a ghost, I'm out.
Yeah.
You just don't know. No, it's ghost. But then when I need you for something, I'm gonna throw a little fish hook out there and see if you'll bite.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And me, I'm like,
Because they know that as you are, you can feed them at that time when they
right.
need it.
And I'm gonna be like,
wasn't-
oh, well,
yeah.
what do you need? You know? And because that's just how I
You-
used. That's
you'll
how I used to
address
be.
it after a while.
That's
You're
how
like,
I used
well,
to
what do
be.
you
But
need?
now I'm just like, you do that now. Like for example, I was trying to bring some business to somebody, and I was like, hey, I need a lawyer for this, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was like, how do I let this? We talked back and forth, friend of mine, and I was like, how do I let this person? How do you want me to have them reach out to you? Your cell, your work? Give me some information, dude. Nothing, no response. Right? It's been a couple, 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, whatever. I get a text this morning.
Oh, this morning.
Yeah, I get a text this morning. Hey,
Saying what?
so sorry, I'm terrible at returning texts.
Obviously.
No, nothing else after that. I'm terrible at returning texts. Here's how they can reach out to me, blah, whatever. Nothing. I'm terrible at returning texts. I just responded, yep, and left it at that. I'm like, I've already
Moved on.
Sent this potential client for you to somebody else. You had your moment. This isn't, oh, and I know you're not terribly busy. You're good at what you do, but you're young building a practice. You know what? You had a chance at this one. And what's the likelihood of somebody like me or anybody I know referring to you based on your level of communication? Nah, it's not gonna happen. We're still cool, but I'm just not gonna send you business because you don't know how to handle business. Ghosting, not cool.
Yeah.
You know? And at what point did people think that shit was okay? You know? Like I see that there are certain times when it's probably reasonable to do so. In situations where a girl meets a guy, he's aggressive, he's just not, she's not interested. She kind of tells him, hey, I'm not interested, whatever. And he still comes and she's trying to be nice about it.
Yeah.
Rather than face confrontation and just try to avoid that conflict, she just stops responding. I get that. I understand that. But if it's somebody you truly have no interest in, and if you're truly going to ghost people and you're done, fucking block them. You start blocking people, then they know you're done. You just leave them as a ghost, but you still want to keep those lines of communication open because you may or think you might need something one day. No, most of us aren't fools like that. You know, I block people left and right. Dude,
I believe that.
I have no issues.
I believe that.
I have no issues of once you cross me, then I don't need to be tempted by opening my phone and answering a text from you or doing something. So you know what? Once you cross me, whether it's business, personal, whatever it may be, I don't have a need for you anymore.
Right. They make themselves clear. Now
Yeah.
you're making yourself clear.
Yeah, you can't find me on social media. You can't find my phone number, none of that. Why? Because I don't want you to have access to me. You can shoot me an email. I wish I knew how to block those, you know? But I can just not answer an email.
Right.
So it's a lot of times blocking, I'm stressing ghosting can be necessary. It can be necessary for a woman to save her life. It can be necessary for a dude to avoid the crazy.
Yeah.
I
was avoiding crazy.
Yeah. But and the thing is, you actually told her, "Hey."
But
look,
that's
I'm
the
out.
thing. I think it's different. It's a different level of ghosting if you are clarifying what you have to say. Like, this is not right for me. I'm letting you know that this is not good for me, and I appreciate if you stop doing this. Now, if you decide to continue pushing back against that, then you know what? After a while, I'm just going to kind of go, scoot.
Well, what's funny is when we were growing up, my brother is very cerebral, right? He likes to know how people think, and so
that's why we get along. I'm like your brother.
yeah, for real, right? And me, I don't care why you do something. If you've done it and I don't like it, your reason as to why you did it don't matter to me at this point. If somebody ghosts my brother or in the past had just stopped talking to him, the first thing he's going to do is want to know why. So he's going to want to cross your path somewhere. If he sees you, he'll walk up and talk to you. Like, what's your story?
I'm not that bad.
And it's not like evil. He's like, well, I just want to know why you stopped calling. He wants to get in their head. Me, if you don't return my call, I'm not calling anymore. Your reason for it doesn't matter at this point. I'm just done.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking back. I'm not going back there. You know?
Well, I've done sales for so many years too, prior to fitness. So one of the things that I learned how to do was when you have clients that just ghost you, I'll say, hey, listen, is it possible that you can let me know what I did wrong so that way I can continue growing in my business? If I offended or hurt you in some way, or if I messed up some way, just let me know. I would like to know so I can grow in my business. And then they'll finally message me back like, oh, no, it wasn't you. I've just been busy, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, okay. So when can I come in and see you again? That was like a little quick turn. I would get them to let me back in the door. Right. But I would always call them out in some capacity and say, hey, what did I do so I can grow? It's not about you. It's about me becoming better. And then they're like, oh. Like, I'll talk to you now.
For me, if you ghost me, I'm not going to come ask you why, because I don't want you to feel like I give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like I need you so much that I need you to tell me why you ghost me.
Yeah.
Like, for example, at work, if a patient calls my office and cancels surgery, I know doctors all the time that they'll have their staff call and be like, well, why, and all this stuff. You call my office and cancel surgery,
somebody else is going to fill that spot.
I don't care.
Right.
It just means you cancel surgery.
Yeah.
You just gave me a free day, or you made it available for somebody else. I don't care why you canceled.
Oh, yeah.
If you call me back and want to reschedule, then we talk about that. But as far as you cancel surgery, me having my staff call and say, well, is there something that's wrong? Why you decided to go with somebody else? I know every surgeon that does that shit. Me?
Yeah.
You call me and say, hey, I think I'm just going to cancel surgery. I don't even talk to you. They'll say, the patient wants to speak to you, but they're going to cancel. They don't need to talk to me.
No.
If you have questions specifically about the surgery and you want to cancel for now so you can get questions answered, different story.
Right.
But if you're calling, I had one patient call me, canceled surgery, but wanted my opinion on the surgeon she was going to go to. I was like, you don't deserve that opinion.
No.
My opinion of the other surgeon that you're already just scheduled to have surgery with shouldn't matter. Go have surgery.
So she canceled with you.
To go to somebody else. But wanted me to rubber stamp that other doctor.
That goes back to that conversation we had about
the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not rubber stamping another doctor so you feel better about your decision. No, that's like you canceling a date with me to go on a date with the next dude, but you want me to tell you, yeah, he's a good dude. Right? I'm like, there's no way. Yeah. You figure that shit out on your own.
Yeah.
If you walk that path, it's the path you chose.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not going to rubber stamp it. So that way down the road, if it ever comes back around, you say, well, you said I should do this.
No.
No.
I've had a lot of people I won't say a lot of people, but I've had a few clients, former clients, that they're like, well, this is just not working. I don't think I'm gonna continue. I'm like, okay.
Or instead of saying, I'm just not going to continue, what if they do something like this? Like, they train with you weekly or 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, they start canceling without telling you anything. Hey, I got to cancel. Hey, I got to cancel. They just keep telling you they got to cancel. And then you start realizing they're not rescheduling. At what point has anyone just kept canceling and said, I'll call you when I'm ready to reschedule, and then just never reschedule?
No, I've never had that. But if you cancel more than 2-3 times within a week, 2 weeks, we're going to have a conversation about that. It's obvious that there's way too much going on in your personal life, that taking care of your body is not important to you. Right. So why don't we do this? Why don't you go ahead and cancel for now?
For good.
For good. Let me know when you're ready to get started again, if you'd like. Or, you can always gladly pick up a magazine and figure out what you need to do. I'm not writing you a program. I'm not going to set you up for glory.
No.
Not on my terms.
I don't want to train with you anymore. Could you just tell me what I need to do for the next 6 months?
Right.
Sure. I'll give you the fee for the next 6 months. And if you don't want my guidance through it, that's fine. Here's my fee, whether we speak or not.
Right. Right. And that goes up.
Yes. I'm gonna write out a program for you, and we don't.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way that's gonna happen.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Like, I've had patients that are like, I don't want to go to a physical therapist. Can you just sit me down and go through a back exercise program with me? No. Well, can you tell me where on the internet I can look? Absolutely not. I'm sending you to an expert and you don't want to go? I got nothing else to do for you. I can't. I'm giving you what you should need, what you should want.
I mean, think about it. You said, in order for me to go further to figure out what's going on with my SI, you need to go to a physical therapist first. I've been going to physical therapy, 2-3 times a week now?
Yep.
I
haven't heard you complain about your SI. Y'all been teaching each other.
Well, I've been complaining, but I just keep it to myself.
Right, no, I'm saying.
But it's different, yeah.
It's different.
I'm learning.
You guys are teaching each other.
Exactly.
And so it's a process. It doesn't make sure you go away, But what I find interesting too on this ghosting tip is patients will have me go through the process of getting their insurance approvals for surgery, all this stuff, and gets approved. And then they're like, all right, I'll call you when I'm ready.
No, you're ready now.
And then I don't hear from them.
Yeah.
I know people that will call, like, I've had patients come in, they're like, yeah, doctors keep calling me saying, am I ready to move forward with surgery? Do we need to schedule a date and all this stuff? And I tell them outright, I'm going to tell you what you need. You call me when you're ready for surgery, if ever, but I'm not going to chase you.
Why? Is it that people just don't want to deal with themselves, so they project on others and put others in the way? I mean, what is it
but
about?
But I think also they like the idea of people chasing them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It validates.
And they don't look at it as ghosting. They look at it as just, I'm putting this person off to the side. Oh, I got all these guys. If you have no intention on going anywhere with this person, don't take their information in the first place.
Right.
You see a lot of ghosting when people start communicating on dating apps. I hear this from people all the time, where they meet a guy or a girl on a dating app. Mm-hmm. They communicate for a little bit, and then it's radio silence. And there's all kinds of podcasts. Ever since we started this podcast, I've been listening to a bunch of different podcasts.
Yeah.
And there's always these podcasts talking about this exact same scenario on dating podcasts, dating apps, that kind of thing, where people they'll communicate on dating apps, and then instead of, because they've never really met the person or never really truly interacted a lot, like going on a date, they just figured the easiest thing is just stop communicating.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, you do it, but it sucks if somebody does it to you. So why do you do it?
Why do you do it? Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, this dude ghosted me. Well, how many dudes have you ghosted? Well, yeah, I just stopped talking to him. Did you tell him did you tell him you weren't interested? Well, no. Well, he should just take a hint. Yeah. I stopped talking to him. I'm like, that's rude.
So in other words, you need to take the hint when someone stops talking to you.
Exactly. But if a dude's just not interested in you, oh, your ego's all burnt up and
Right.
you're all in your feelings.
They create all your language.
Right. And God forbid it was a dude that you may have slept with once. He wasn't feeling you anymore. He just stopped calling you. He's an evil ass man in your book.
Boy, man,
but
I'm married.
but what if that happens? Right. But what if that happens to you?
Yeah.
And you just stop calling dude because he wasn't that good and you're not really feeling him, so you just stop calling him.
Yeah.
Most guys are like, whatever, on to the next. But if a dude does that to you, then it's a big deal for you.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it happens.
It happens more often than not.
It happens in all walks of life, man. You see it all the time in different scenarios, and ghosting has never been cool. And I'm trying to find a reason as to when ghosting may be beneficial. It's not really beneficial. Just say what you need and then bounce. You're not ghosting them if you tell them, hey, look, I'm out. I'm not interested. I don't want your business. I don't want your, in my personal life, whatever it may be. We're good. I'm done.
Maybe you need to ghost your behaviors. Maybe you need to ghost your habits. Your current habits of ghosting, your current habits of treating people bad, your current habits of how you don't want to deal with yourself, things that you're doing on a regular basis that is creating a negative energy wrapped around you. Maybe you need to learn how to ghost those things.
Actually, I can think of a good time to ghost people.
Okay, tell me about it.
Car salesman. And I'm going to tell you why. I was just thinking about when have I really ghosted somebody? Fucking used car salesman, man.
Oh, used car. Oh, even worse.
Car salesman in general. So you go to a car lot, you test drive a car. All right, cool. Listen, I'm gonna look around, see what I like, and they start blowing you up incessantly. And you're like, hey, I'm not telling you I'm not interested in a car, but I'm looking elsewhere, And so you end up going somewhere else. You find a car, you buy it, and you move on. These fools keep at you, and I bought a car. Oh, did you really? Where did you, dude?
Right. Once I said I got a car.
Or better yet, they're calling you. I'm not saving their number in my phone, so people are calling you, and I'm not thinking, oh, I bought another car. Let me call a different sales guy back at the 3 other car lots I went to let them all know I bought a car. No, I just stopped talking to them.
Yeah.
Those people need to be ghosted because they are like hounds.
But at the same time, it goes back to what you said earlier. Are you really ghosting them after you already let them know, like, listen, this is where I am. I'm good.
Well, even before that, if I just tell them, hey, look, thank you, I'm looking around.
But that's letting them
If
know.
I'm going to buy a car from you, I will call you.
Yeah.
If they keep calling, I'm just disappearing because I don't need to. You don't deserve me to answer the call when I told you I will call you. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of ghosting, but that's in a good way.
Okay.
That's like, get the hell out of my face, dude. They got to be some of the most annoying people on the planet. I get you're hustling, trying to get your shit together, but dude, it's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Pet peeve, y'all. That's another one. That ain't even today's topic, but coming in hot after vacay.
We're addressing all the former shows, how they all come in today.
Yeah, right?
Today. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just ghosting gets under my skin because, like you said, people don't want to face reality, and so I guess the term ghosting, because ghosts kind of just disappear.
You're right.
But ghosts aren't real.
Right.
And so people don't want to face that reality. So instead of facing the reality, they just, like the wind, just go away.
Yeah.
And to me, that's some coward shit.
It's coward. It's we talk about the human experience. It's neglecting their human experience. It's neglecting the opportunity to converse or to grow in a way of saying, knowing their own boundaries or saying, hey, this is not what I want or this is where I am. They just separate. They just disappear. That's not dealing with reality.
What advice would you give to somebody who does that repeatedly? Like, what would you say to them? Like, what would you say, number one, is their problem, and number two, kind of how they should, what things they should do to just get past that?
Man, that's a tough one because I think that, one, they need to address what they fear.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do you fear?
Probably is fear-based, right?
Yeah, I guarantee you. I think most things are fear-based, which is not reality.
And people may say, "Oh, fear's not real." It's an unrealistic reality.
Exactly.
I'll catch that.
It's like when you slow it down, it's like, yeah.
You know, and so you ghost because you're fearful of a conversation you've never even had.
Right.
And you're trying to anticipate what that conversation is going to be like once you express how you feel.
And you don't have that muscle to deal with it. But at the same time, if you push that muscle to have that conversation, you will now have the knowledge and the experience of having that conversation and have that muscle to deal with it further on down the road.
But some people in their mind feel like, oh, it's just easier to just not deal with it.
Right.
You know, and is it really? Because then it may be easier to walk away because I'm just like, I don't owe this person anything, so let me just walk away. But is it really?
Yeah.
You know, because you're still dealing with the emotion and the thoughts you had before you ghosted that person. Mm-hmm. And yet you still haven't dealt with it. And so when something else comes along in that same kind of situation, you're going to keep doing the exact same thing.
But I guarantee you look in their lives, they're ghosting everything in their life. They're running away from all their experiences, their connections. They're running away from everything.
True.
And it's easy to place and have and project on other people because they still don't want to deal with themselves. They will go out there and say, you know, she did this or he did that, whatever it is.
Which in turn means they're just basically ghosting progress.
Yeah.
You know, they're ghosting personal growth.
Yeah.
You know, they're ghosting relationship.
They're ghosting love. They're ghosting love.
Yeah.
Because all the things that you just said is self-love.
And so when you have things in your life that you're not ready to deal with, it's easier to ghost it.
Yeah.
You know, and I shouldn't say it's easier to ghost it. You're just kicking the can down the road. Because you're going to have to, seriously.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Whether you want to deal with it now or, this is better dealt with down the road, or it's not. It's still, you still are going to have to deal with it.
It's like what we talked about last week. You know, punch a bully in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and that inner bully,
Yeah.
that inner bully is what causes you to ghost people.
Yeah.
Is what causes you to ghost life, you know? And so at what point do we say, you know what? And here's the question. Is it an age-related thing? Is it a life experience kind of thing? It's probably not an age-related thing. Dang, I can't even speak. It is more, I think, of an emotional maturity related thing.
100%.
You know, and when does that emotional maturity take place? All different ages, you know, and I think a level of self-confidence comes into play. If you don't have self-confidence, you're gonna ghost more. You're gonna ghost things more. You're gonna ghost people more because you're not confident enough to face it head on. And so if you can't face things, you ghost it.
And that confidence is that muscle that we were just talking about.
They don't exercise it enough.
You don't exercise it enough. Yeah. And you know what else we're talking about that muscle? That confidence comes with humility.
Yeah, right?
You know, you would think, oh, confidence, you're supposed to be above and strong and just I just push everything down. No, confidence is that humility. Be able to say, you know what? I know I'm smart enough to know that I don't know that.
So,
or I can't do that. Or help me understand this.
There was another instance of ghosting where you meet somebody, offer them a job. This literally happened, interviewing people for a job, right?
Okay.
You know, I do a lot of shit. And so,
I know.
Interviewing people for a job. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, cool. This person, let's bring them in for an interview, for a second interview, blah, whatever. Dude, ghost.
Really?
Just never call back.
For an opportunity.
Dude, you came to me looking for a job. We're like, all right, this is cool. Found out down the road that they just got a job elsewhere. So to me, that says a lot that I just dodged a bullet by not hiring that
That's
person.
true.
Because if you didn't even give me the courtesy of saying, hey, look, I'm going to turn down your job offer or your interview process because I found a job elsewhere. You just said, I'm just not going to return his calls. Now, my office was calling to set this up and just wouldn't return the calls. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane and just disappear.
It's funny you say that. It reminded me of a situation not that long ago where someone was offering me a possible opportunity towards something. They kind of gave me information, say, hey, listen, get back to me about this.
Right.
I ghosted that person because I know that person and I knew that opportunity was not necessarily an opportunity. It came with a whole lot of stipulations. The stipulations far surpass that opportunity.
He's going to know this story when I tell him this one.
Uh-oh.
And I don't never really ghost this dude, but dude always calls me when there's a new project popping up, right? and we both know this dude. We never hear from him. Never hear from him. And it's not like we go out, we party, we hang out. None of that. Never hear from him. Then it's all of a sudden, hey man, just want to check in with you. How you doing? I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, when you have some time.
Nah, I'm good before he finishes.
He's like, well, when you got some time, I'd like to run some stuff by you. I don't even respond. I just ghosted that one. I'm like, because too many times I've been like, nah, I'm good. And you just keep throwing them out there. And it's like, you don't reach out to me unless you need something. So I'm just like, I'm not going to block you because you're not a bad dude. But, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because if you call me, you needed me for something medical, cool, I got you. But you're always calling me looking for money.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you, man. And so,
like
and Kenny knows
And
who I'm
like you
talking
said,
about.
he's a good dude.
Yeah, but sometimes you
But
gotta.
you have to ghost the ghoster because
He'll do the same
he
thing
do the same thing.
on a regular basis.
Yep.
Disappear for months at a time, and all of a sudden,
Months, years.
dude, and then just will pop up.
Like, yo, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Like I remember, I hadn't heard from this dude in forever. Then all of a sudden, he pops up wanting me to do a favor for his girlfriend at the time, or some chick he was dating at the time. She was in the medical field, and was like, "Oh, can you know what I'm talking about?" Mm-hmm. And I was just like, "Sure, I'll talk to her, but I know you're doing this because you want to look better in her eyes." Like, look, I got access to this guy who's a power player. I just got to make a phone call, and he'll call me right back.
Right.
Well, people learn that lesson quick that I'm not that accessible after a point. You get to roll that dice once or twice.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's many different types and ways to ghost people, and many reasons why people do it. Mm-hmm. And I think it all boils down to, me included, like the story I just gave. I think it boils down to, I don't want to have to deal with the situation at hand. So I just don't deal with that situation. I think that's what most people are thinking. And is it the right way to handle things? No. Does it avoid confrontation? Sure. And so depending on the craziness that will follow from you having the conversation, it may be worthwhile just walking away and hoping that the situation disappears.
Yeah. I think
that's the positive spin I can try to spin on it.
Well, I think for you, and I think for myself as well, but mainly for you, because you are, with what you do, you're a player. So you have opportunity from a business perspective. I think sometimes you have to make sure that your boundaries are set. Can't get my words out now. Mm-hmm. This drink has got me. Your boundaries are set. And you're letting them know, but if they are infringing and pushing and jabbing and driving at you, sometimes you do have to take that step back.
You do.
I think for you have to, because I guarantee you most of the time, you've already made yourself clear.
At some point.
I know you, from jump.
Yeah, I don't leave people hanging like,
No.
What is he thinking? No. I mean, I don't have time for that.
No, it's pretty clear.
I'm a grown ass man. This
So
is what you get.
if you're taking those jabs after you've already made yourself, if they're taking the jabs, you've made yourself clear.
Right.
Oh no, I understand why you ghosted them. I completely understand that. That's because, and that's business. That's nothing personal.
In my personal life, I ain't gonna ghost y'all. I'm not gonna ghost you.
Now,
I'm just gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you I don't like you.
Oh, we know you're gonna do that.
Or I'll just tell you outright. Look, my favorite thing is I'm just gonna tell you. Look, it's just not for me.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with you. It's just not for me.
that's clear.
And if you can't understand that, I give you options. It's not for me. It's not going anywhere. You're cool people. I'm around if you need me. But don't start blowing me up because I'm just not gonna answer.
Yeah.
And if you want to call that ghosting, I gave you a warning shot. I gave you a warning shot.
Yeah.
And for me, you don't have to worry about ghosting me. Just don't return one of my calls.
Consider it's done.
Consider. Know that I'm gonna consider it as you ghosted me, and I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I won't reach out. We won't talk. I'm gonna find that as highly disrespectful, and I'm cool. We're good. No harm, no foul. I'm just not cool. We got nothing to offer each other.
I'm not gonna ghost you, but if I've made myself clear and I've said what I had to say, I'm gonna ghost you after that. Right. If you keep attacking, I can look right past
Unless
you.
you right dead in your eye and be like,
As a matter of fact, I can be in the same room with someone and not pay attention and feel very okay.
oh yeah,
Because when I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah, because you're standing right there, it doesn't mean I got to talk to you. It doesn't mean I got to acknowledge you.
Oh yeah, I can look past you like that.
Once I've cut you off, and I've said to myself, you don't exist to me, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot for somebody to get there with me. If you get there with me, you're right. You could be sitting right here.
And look right past
You could be a no stranger. I would actually go, hey, what's up? You and be like, I may look you dead in your face.
That's some cold shit right
Yeah,
there, boy.
I'm not gonna look past you. I'm gonna look you dead in your face.
We're not even gonna edit that silence out because that was it right there.
And all the shit that you did to make me do that,
Oh, man.
you're gonna know.
Oh.
And that's gonna well up inside you and know that I don't give a shit.
Yeah. You know what's sad about that? They probably won't know because they still don't like to deal with themselves.
True.
They don't like to deal with themselves, so they will still. Well, why is he doing this to me? I don't know. Maybe why are you doing it to yourself?
Well, here's the other thing too, and I think, as we start to bring this week's episode to a close, think about not only why you may ghost somebody, but think about what it is about you that makes people ghost you, especially if it happens repetitively. Start looking in the mirror and saying, okay, let me take a step back. Why do I find that people are ghosting me often? Is it because I'm dealing with or going after or trying to surround myself with the same type of people? Or is there something about me that's turning all of these different types of people off? And instead of hurting my feelings outright, they're just gonna walk away and just not say anything. So there's two things that should cause self-reflection. Why are you ghosting people? What in your life have you not dealt with? And two, why are people ghosting me?
Yeah.
And I think if you can sit down and really take a good look at yourself and try to answer those questions, use ghosting, or better yet, use being ghosted as a tool for bettering yourself.
Yeah.
Use it as a tool for self-reflection and looking back and saying, okay, let me dig deep and see what it is about me, about my habits, about my work ethic that is causing people to ghost me.
I take something that I was told a long time ago and I still use it to this day. What did I learn? That's it. What did I learn in this situation? Good, bad, and indifferent.
Yeah.
What did I learn? Where do I need to go now? Okay.
All of these things that we talk about, man, should be sort of a good point to learn about yourself.
It's
You know, we should always be learning.
It's all education, baby. Education.
We should all be learning more about ourselves and these topics that we have every week. You know, we still think about, okay, why are you ghosting me? But why am I ghosting you as well?
In other words, it all comes back to you.
Everything,
you about you.
Everything in life starts with you.
Yes.
It starts with you. Look in the mirror and say, okay, why am I this way? What's going on in my life?
That's right.
Man, great episode about ghosting.
Tell me where they're going to find you, Doc.
You're going to find me at Leonel Hunt on Instagram. You're going to also find me at, let's see, do I want to give my website? Yeah. Huntspine.com. Coach KJ.
Coach KJ Knows on Instagram. Coach KJ Knows on Instagram and CoachKJ.com.
You can find us at SOE Podcast, and that's at SOE_podcast. We're out.